Here we are today. We're going to do an oil change on a 2012 Toyota Corolla. And this is the 1.8 liter engine. I think it's called the 2RZ. So here we go. Make sure you get a good solid lift point. And we're going to jack this thing up. All right. Now we come under here. And we're going to get the jack stand in place. One thing to note, always start with a nice cool engine. So we just opened up this one since I was already ready to start, but the engine's still pretty hot. So if you got different weight oils, obviously it's going to be a thicker consistency. Most people think that warming up their vehicle is going to make the oil come out and flow faster. It's actually quite contrary. It's the opposite. All right, stay tuned. What's that called?
I don't know.
This is an oil. This is a drip pan. It's an oil drip pan, drain pan. Put on the car. That is your drain plug for the oil. Now, a good thing to note here is it's always at an angle. Now, if you run into a flat one, just want you to know right now, that would be your transmission fluid. So don't do that one. Recording. Just point it right where I'm working. There you go. So we're going to take a 9/16 wrench and
Be careful when that comes off, because then it's going to be like...
there we go. Break it loose.
Beware, it's going to be coming out a
Go ahead and
lot.
stop the video. There we go.
Okay.
All right. So we'll go ahead and let that oil out of there. Stop. And we go ahead and loosen this up, just to kind of help get the oil flowing better. And I just leave it there. Now we go ahead and...
Yes.
Okay. So what I like to do is do a little bit of a flush. So I'm going to add a little bit, maybe about 1/3 of a quart to this engine to kind of help clear out whatever's left. And you can see the color change of the oil once this newer oil starts coming down.
So it's flushing all the old oil and then coming down with the new oil.
Yes.
Ah, okay. Oops.
All right. So we like to use nothing but Toyota's OEM products, but we're going to actually take it a step further and go with what Sweet Project Cars. I don't know if you follow his channel, but he's really cool. But we're going to put some silicone spray and let it wick into this filter just a little bit.
Can I turn it sideways?
See how it goes. And should be good. So, oil's done draining. We're gonna lift the car back up. Put the drain plug back in. All right, and we make it nice and snug. Not too crazy. And we're gonna funny pin over here that keeps it from rotating out, and you just kind of got to work with it, especially because it's a reusable part. So what I like to do is kind of like wiggle it back and forth until I know I can get it past this lip right here, and then I'll just attempt to turn it. And it looks like I'm gonna need an actual wrench for it, but we're gonna make do without. So what I like to do is use one of these rubber adjustable sized wrenches right here, and it works. Now you see how easy that is right there, and we're just gonna go ahead and rotate this bad boy off. right, that should be enough to be able to do it by hand. All right, there we go.
Ooh.
Yeah, one thing about these is I don't like that they use these types of oil filters on these cars. I prefer them actually have the canister form instead of these paper filters that just lodge in there. I just feel like this is an inferior design. So we'll let it finish leaking out and put the new filter in, and we'll get this ball rolling. Oil filter, and you can see that one is definitely due. And this is using the normal full synthetic 0820, but driving conditions, and especially in the winter, we get, you know, below freezing over here. So it's done its time, and now we're just gonna pop the new one back on. All right, we're good to go. We're gonna go ahead and put the cartridge back in.
Why do Mom's tires look flat?
Now you can see I'm only hand tightening this. I don't like wrenching these things down because they have an actual stopper on them. So as you can see, I'm just gonna put this stopper right back where it goes, and now it stops this lip from moving, so it can't come back out. And this is all the way seated, so we're good there. Let's put some oil in. And always make sure you go into your user manual to find out what the oil capacity is. I believe this one is somewhere between 3.5 to 3.9. So we're gonna do it a little at a time, not to overfill this. But before we do that, we're gonna go ahead and lower the car back down so we can get a proper oil reading. All right. So we're using 0820, and I like to use Valvoline. It's kind of been in the family for quite some time, and we've never had catastrophic engine failure, and it's just a brand that we like to trust around here. So by the looks of it, we put about 3.5 quarts in, which is at the lowest mark for this vehicle. So now's a good time to go ahead and start the engine and get the oil cycling in there, because we put the oil filter back in there dry. So we're gonna go ahead and get this system lubed up. Warming up, and you know, we don't have a maintenance required light. Otherwise, I guess that'd be another video, but I'll show you guys how to reset that maintenance required light. So while the engine's running, we're just gonna let it warm up and get it as close to a level ground as possible before checking that dipstick. So stand by. We are up to temperature, guys, so let's go ahead and shut this off, and let's do this. After the engine's cooled for about 5 or 6 minutes, you know, give the oil a chance to settle down to get a proper reading, then we're gonna go ahead and check the dipstick and see what we get, and we'll adjust from there. To cool down, now's a good time to check out this air filter. Not sure how dirty this one is. I haven't checked it in a couple thousand miles, but it's pretty easy. You got 2 clips right here in the back, and you see where this hinge is right here. All it does is pop right up and come right out. Overall, not too bad. I say we can change it anyway. The one that we sprayed silicone, and now I sprayed it to on the side that would be catching the dirt before it goes in through the intake or into the throttle body. So now you notice it's got 3 rounded corners and 1 sharp one. That's going to be at the bottom left right here towards you. So we'll go ahead and put this bad boy in. Go ahead and get it seated. And put these little clamps right back on. Alright. So go ahead and check out this dipstick. Go ahead and give it a good wipe one more time. And we'll see where we are reading. So as you can see, we're kind of on the lower side. We're just above the minimum notch. So I'm going to go ahead and add about a third of a quart back into it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and top this up just to be on the safe side. I'm sure there would be nothing wrong with the oil level the way it was, but I prefer to be in the center of the 2 tick marks. As long as you don't go and fill it up over the fill line, because then you can cause, you know, a lot of seal damage and all kinds of catastrophic engine failure can occur at that time. So you don't ever want to overfill your oil. So that's why we check 2-3 times and be sure. Once the excess oil that you just put in it has gone down, check it again. Make sure you find what the final level is going to be for this car, and we have it right at where we want it. So that is good. We're good to go. Put your engine cover back on. That doesn't actually do anything, so that makes it look pretty in the engine bay. All right. Go ahead and remove all your tools, and we're good to go. We end this video, and we are going to take this and recycle it back over at the auto store. But real quick, I'm going to go ahead and go through all the tools that I used. I used a 9/16 wrench with a ratchet. You can use an open crescent wrench or whatever, box wrench. But one of these cool little gizmos that's adjustable for your oil filters. And yeah, I guess you already know what pliers are. Also 0-weight-20, which is what the manufacturer calls for this vehicle. So any questions, let me know, and subscribe to my channel.